One of the famous Aleph in Israeli political discourse. There's Aleph from the president's house, and there's Aleph from the Ministry of Tourism. You know, the two rape victims, or alleged rape victims of Katsam. So anyway, they didn't like another Aleph on the scene, especially not an Aleph who was a perpetrator. Yeah. But he, whatever, he got away with it, and of course he's deciding he is, you know, how did they finally catch this guy? It wasn't the DNA, and it wasn't the little streams of her clothing on his. It was that when he went to post bail, he used Gabi Ashkenazi's credit card. Okay, you know, so this had been stolen, and finally they figured out who it was. But you know, this guy Erez, okay, so he wanted to have a couple more parties while before he got married, so this was a good scheme to delay his wedding, because, you know, his marriage was imminent. And now, of course, all the female Tel Avivnik, all the girls in Tel Aviv who are engaged are now fearful that this is going to be a new tactic, a new delaying tactic by all their grooms who are going to put this off. Yeah. Anyway, any of you guys here go see the professional comics over here for Kobe Mandel? Yeah, one person. Yeah. Whatever, they were okay, but I was really distraught that at the end they take these questions, and you know, so the person comes up with a serious question. What about Gilad Shalit? Okay, now you know, oh, we can't talk about Gilad Shalit. It's too serious, too serious. But you know, there really is a lot of humor in this poor soldier's plight. You know, I mean, nobody wishes him ill, but anyway, you know, Barman Baguti says 1V or 2, you know, and Baruch Marzel says, oh, now finally we've come to a real evaluation that 1 Jew is equal to 980 Arabs, you know. I mean, you know, there are better aspects about this, and of course all the Palestinian prisoners saying, you know what, we don't want to get out of here, we want to wait for our degree, you know, they're not going to leave the prison so fast. Anyway, we're almost done here, but anybody following the Demanjuk trial, you know who John Demanjuk is, right? Okay. So his lawyer says, yeah, we hope to finish this up real soon, because we're going to go on to the next trial in Poland, you know, in 16 years' time. And Demanjuk himself says, well, you know, I just followed orders. First I followed the Nazis, and now I'm following my lawyer who tells me to lie Kamtos there on the stretcher, you know. And the new bumper sticker, it's in Hebrew, I don't know how many of you have seen it. It translates only fair, you know. 5,740 days, still not a prisoner, you know. This is what people think of Demanjuk. Anyway, and Neman, Yaakov Neman, you know who he is? He's the justice minister. He was in the news this week that he wanted to make halakha, you know, the law of the land. And so it was kind of cool, because he also wanted to split the attorney general's job into 2, right? So he thought, of course, if we have Torah law, we've got to have 2 Kohen HaGadolim, you know, that one isn't big enough. And then, of course, our very own President Shimon Peres, right? He got his own YouTube channel this week, okay? I don't know if you guys saw that. And so what, of course, is the funniest clip on his YouTube channel? It's the Oslo signing ceremony. I mean, it just gets lots of laughs. It just didn't go anywhere. Anyway, we had a big week in Rehovot this week. We had Ada Yonat. Anybody know who Ada Yonat is? Mm-hmm. Nobody? Hello? Anybody out there? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, she won the Nobel Prize, okay? You know, and she lives in Rehovot, and it turns out that, you know, she worked on ribosomes. Anybody know what a ribosome is?
Ribosome.
Yeah, ribosome. Yeah, okay, whatever. We're southern science. I would say ribosome. Anyway, yeah, it's the part that turns the amino acids into proteins. But the weird thing is that they did a survey, and of course, 78% of Israelis. Oh, I know what a ribosome is. You know, you don't have to tell me that. Nobody knew it in the end. But in fact, science can be pretty funny, okay? Real, you know, science can be funny, you know. You talk about a virus takeover as an example, right? You know, it's like a hostile takeover. You go into a factory, okay, and you turn a Coke factory into a Pepsi factory. It's really more like you turn a Twinkie factory into a Nike factory, right? Or we'll give you an example, right? A virus walks into a bar, okay, and the bartender says, we don't serve viruses here, and the virus replaces the barman. He says, now you do, right? Or 2 bacteria walk into a bar, and two bacteria walk into a bar, and the barman says, "We don't serve bacteria here," and they say, "Well, that's okay, we're staff, you know." Or a hostile infection walks into a bar, and the barman says, "We don't serve hostile infections." And the hostile infection says, "Well, you're not a very friendly host, you know." Or a neutrino walks into a bar, and he says, "Okay, I'm just passing through, you know." Or a infrared photon walks in, and he says, "You know, is it hot in here, or is it just me, you know?" Anyway, science can be kind of funny. Anyway, our last topic of the night is, of course, our dear President Obama, okay? He's going to be around for a long time, oh boy. So he had this Thanksgiving dinner, okay? And so what happens was that, who does he invite? He has his first state dinner, okay? And he invites the Prime Minister of India, okay? Now, can you imagine it? And of course, he's a vegetarian, okay? So the first state dinner, Thanksgiving, he has the wrong Indians, and there's no turkey. I mean, what kind of a president is this, you know? Anyway, he's been in office like 11 months or so, okay? And so, I mean, if you sum up the 11 months, what has he done? I mean, he's given billions of dollars to Wall Street bankers, okay? He's cracked down on the health rights of illegal immigrants, and he's sending 30,000 troops to Afghanistan. This might be the best Republican president we've ever had. Give him a chance. And of course, but it didn't help because his ratings are at an all-time low, okay? 47% approval ratings, according to the White House press secretary. You know, he says, well, you know, a 6-year-old with a crayon could do that kind of chart. Well, evidently it was that same 6-year-old that did the last budget projection, because that's how bad it is. And of course, yesterday, this is today's news, guys, this is topical humor, that the Treasury Secretary came out and he says, you know, that $30 billion we gave to the automakers, bye-bye, you know, and of course Bernie Madoff, $30 billion, I could have done a lot better with that. It didn't help. And okay, and this week, of course, Obama gets the Nobel Prize, okay? And anybody hear his speech? Oh God, like 38 times he says I mean, how narcissistic can you get? You know, he comes there, he compares himself to winners like Schweitzer and King and Mandela and Marshall, right? You know, the speech should have been, well, when I look back on the previous winners, you know, and I think, well, it's the Yasser Arafat, a terrorist, you know, what's with that guy? Or Al Gore, you know, he makes a movie with flies, this is a Nobel Prize. Or Jimmy Carter, you know, that sanctimonious twit, even I can't stand it. You know. This is the kind of speech he should have given. But he didn't. Okay, and then in the end, of course, I mean, it's going to his head, okay? Because I mean, he's sending 30,000 troops to do his shopping at Target, okay? You know, I mean, he's giving himself a $10 billion bailout. You know, he's working fewer hours than Bush. You know, I mean, this is not a man who expects good ratings, but whatever. Okay. Anyway, so he did have the misfortune this week of being on the cover with Tiger Woods of Golf Digest. Now. Okay, let's put this in a little perspective. Okay, now in America, they consume, it's estimated, 3.6 zeta of information a day, right? That's 3.6 and 20 zeros worth of information a day, okay? Which translates to, on an individual basis, about 3.6 gigabytes, which translates into something you can believe in, 100,000 words a day, okay? So American, it's like 4 times what they consumed in 1980, okay? Now, okay, given that this is such a literate kind of people, right, what is the #1 story in America, okay? Yeah, you guessed it. Tiger Woods, okay? I mean, wow, you know. We're not going to go there, right? This is OU humor, don't worry. But it's like really, it's really horrible, you know, and this is the best they can come up with, you know. Whatever, he's off of the airwaves for the moment, but, you know, Kobe Bryant was charged with rape, and he's back on, and it's sort of like, you know, people like narratives, okay? I could get up here and tell jokes or not till tomorrow, but people like storylines, okay? That's the whole point of all this, okay? So what did CBS do? They're taking As the World Turns off the air, okay? The last real soap opera, and they're taking it off the air. So in the end, if you want plot twists, if you want intrigue, if you want illicit sex, you're going to have to watch golf. I mean, that's all that's left for us, guys. Anyway, Obama is increasing the pilotless airplane attacks over Pakistan, but you know, did that phase us? I mean, we had pilotless airplanes over Minnesota for a long time. Anyway, the last